After that, all of them reaches to the mission side and gets shocked to see that the second demonification has already started. At that time, a warrior comes to Kestner and greets him. Kestner praises for working hard on watch. He then asked him that what happened as the erosion is earlier than expected. The warrior replies that there is another sign of demonification in this area, and although the erosion hasn't started yet, but it seems like a matter of time before it starts. If the demonification occurs in two places in proximity to each other, the possibility that they will fuse increases. After fusion, the process of erosion gets faster, and the danger also increases. Hearing this report, everyone gets tensed as they have to hurriedly wrap things up. Kestner tells them to get ready as there is no time for a break. They will quickly get into the dungeon and immediately target the center. After that, all of them gets into the dungeon. As they successfully enters, they sees a huge castle in front of them, which seems like a picture. The castle is the center, and from there tons of monsters come rushing towards them. There were groups of hellhounds and ogres. Seeing this, Kestner tells Riki and Mord to quickly awaken the divine blood. Kestner then orders everyone to move out, except for Mord and Riki, as they will be with him to perform the divine blood trap technique. The other three rushed and attacks the monster. The boy with the long sword and the white-haired girl swiftly begins to kill the monster. On the other hand, Erickson uses his spear and throws it hard that it kills bulk of monsters in one go. Kestner was seeing all of this, and he finds it a bit unusual as compared to the monsters' number. Their pace is too fast. Riki speaks up and says that it is occurring because of the demonification fusion. The three of them awakens their divine blood. Kestner then tells Mord and Riki to handle the Cyclops as he will be handling the Eaten. Hearing Kestner's order, the two of them move quickly. Mord comes in front of the Cyclops, and by using his mana, he throws a punch at them. One punch for Mord is enough to kill tons to Cyclops. Riki looks at this and thinks that Mord is really something. In front of Riki comes a huge red demon. The demon gathers mana into its mouth and is about to launch it. At that time, Mord come flying and punched the demon in the face. The attack of the demon gets destroyed as its jaw gets broken from the punch. Mord then signals Reek to attack from the right. Both of them launch their combo attack on the demon. Getting hit from both of them, the demon falls on its knees and screams in pain. Mord approaches closer to the demon and hits it in the eyes. Riki gets shocked to see Mord's strength, and this time he thinks of Mord as the real monster. From the punch of Mord, the demon explodes. Riki uses his mana shield to cover Mord and himself. Mord thanks Riki for covering him. Riki tells Mord that they should hurry up and go to Kestner as he is already on his way to the center. As they gets there, the both of them sees Kestner is surrounded by 5 flying demons. At that time, Mord gets teleported to an unknown house. He gets confused as he didn't know what just happened to him. At that moment, a voice comes to his ears which says that it is impressive to think that he is still fine after falling from that height. Mord then looks forward and sees that a being is sitting on a huge throne and is radiating huge amount of mana. Behind the throne there is a huge gate. Seeing this, Mord gets that this is the gate that connects the demon world and this world. Mord also understands that he is currently at the deepest part of the dungeon, and the being that is sitting on the throne is the dungeon core. The demon stands up and says that he is Baron Ultaz, the one who has been chosen by the root of the formidable darkness. On the other side, Riki gets shocked to see that Mord is gone. He tells Kestner about this. Kestner asked him that where is the exact spot when Mord was vanished. Riki tells Kestner to follow him. As they walks a bit, the both of them gets shocked. On the other hand, Mord asks the demon Baron Ultaz that why did he bring him here to the deepest part. The demon replied that there has been a merge between 2 dungeons and another Lord-class demon flew in, and they both have been itching to fight, so they both made a bet that the loser will have to protect the core here, and the winner will go out and enjoy their dinner. So the reason for Reek and Kestner being surprised is because the Lord-class demon that won the bet gets in front of them. The demon Ultaz also says to Mord that as there were 3 divine blood, so he summoned the youngest one, as it's more of his style to catch a kid rather than an experienced one, as they're more delicious because their meat is softer when they're young. Mord gets nervous as he has to fight one-on-one with a Lord-class demon. The stronger the demon is, who is the core of a demonized dungeon, the more demons can appear inside the dungeon. The ranks of normal demons are low-class, intermediate demons. The ranks of the upper echelon Lord-class demons are divided into Marquis, Count, Viscount, Earl, and Baron. Above them are the monarch-level demons, the Duke and Grand Duke. Among them, a Baron is a powerful demon that can kill most advanced warriors at once. On the Kessner's side, he is very angry as he is worried about Mord. As the demon is about to move, Rike comes in between them, and he tells Kessner that he will assist him in this fight. Kessner tells Reiki to move as he is enough for this fight. By saying this, Kessner awakes his divine blood state, and the fight between him and the demon starts. Inside the castle, the Mord also awakens his divine blood, as he cannot take it easy when he is fighting a Lord-class demon. Seeing the awakened state to Mord, the demon says there is no use of it. At that time, Mord rushes towards him and kicks him. Getting hit from the kick, the demon slides back and realizes that Mord is more powerful than he has thought. The demon then activates a huge spell, Name the Dance of the Fire Spirit, and throws it at Mord. Mord uses his Mirage Break to counter the spell. As both of their attacks collided, a huge explosion occurs. Seeing this, the demon laughs as he thinks that Mord is death. At that time, Mord uses the smoke as a cover and ambushed the demon and land a clear hit on its face. The demon flies away and hit a wall. Mord didn't stop there. He creates many impulse balls and throws them at the demon. The balls hit the demon. Mord has been in many fights, but in all that fights he has never give his all. But this is the first fight that he is trying to do his best. The demon uses his mana to get out from the impulse balls. The appearance of the demon has changed a bit, and it is radiating more mana. The demon then rushed towards Mord. Mord begins to use the power of the world fragment, and he also moved towards the demon. Both of them clashes, and no one is overpowering the other. The demon brings out his long sword and swings it at Mord. Mord barely dodged the attack and jumps towards the demon and lands a clean punch on its face. Getting hit from the punch, the head of the demon shatters and the body on it melts, and a red orb-like thing comes out of the demon's body. Mord recognizes the orb as the core of the dungeon. Outside the castle, Kessner has also killed the demon and is about to depart towards the castle in search for Mord. Rike also wishes to go with him, but at that time, Mord comes to them. Seeing him, Kessner gets surprised and asked him if there was no demon. Mord replies that there was one, and he killed it and brings its sword with him. Seeing the sword, Kessner gets that the demon was a Lord class. He then asked Mord that if he really defeated it. Mord replies that he had good luck, and he was able to win because the demon was underestimating him with its carelessness. Kessner gets impressed as, no matter how careless the opponent was, to think that a young man like Mord who just awakened his divine blood was able to defeat a Lord-class demon. He also praises Mord for this use's achievement. The reason why Kessner had Mord accompany them in this mission is all for Mord, because he didn't want a genius like him with a bright future get caught up in the competition for the succession and be trampled on. So he was intending to become a fence for him until Mord has enough knowledge and experience to choose his own future. Kessner thought that it would take at least 5 years for Mord to be able to choose his own future, but now he thinks that 1 year is more than enough for him. After the first demonization mission, several more missions were given to Kessner and his group, and thanks to that, they weren't able to return to the Grand Duchy until a month and a half later. After they returned to the duchy, Kessner asked Mord that if he know about the banquet that will held in 5 days. Mord questioned, "What is that?" Kessner then tells Mord that it's an event where people who completed missions outside are gathered and officially awarded. It is held every 2 months, and only warriors can participate. The awards are also given by the Grand Duke himself. Kessner then takes his leave by telling Mord not to be late as the banquet is an important thing. Mord bids farewell to Kessner and thinks that as it a very big event, so lots of big shot will be present there. In the novel, Aiden continues to clash with Grand Duke Vernus and faces several crises. Aiden has one strong move that is able to turn the tide of the fight, the man who had been wandering away from his family. It was to make his comrade, Lion Vernus, the Grand Duke. After that, the War of Succession revolved around Lion Vernus, and ever since Lion succeeded to the throne of the Grand Duke, the Grand Duchy of Vernus was transformed into a powerful ally of Aiden's. 5 days goes by easily, and today is the banquet, so Mord is getting dressed up. Mord thinks that as eventually he will be facing Aiden as an enemy, so he thinks to bring the Grand Duchy by his side. He goes to the banquet place, and as he arrives there, he sees Erikson is waiting for him. The two of them greets each other and walks together inside the place. As they are about to enter, Erikson tells Mord that after the award ceremony there will be a party, and he advises Mord to make some friends there. The two of them enters the banquet room, and everybody starts to talk about Mord as he has defeated a Lord-class demon. As Mord walks, everyone is mesmerized by seeing the physique of his, as he is so big even though he just turned 15. While they were walking, they comes face to face with Prince Dren, who is successor candidate and the three-thought child. Erikson bows and greets the prince. Prince Dren tells Erikson so, leave them alone as he has something to talk with Mord. At that time, the sixth child Viden comes and tells Dren that talking like this is not considered a good manner. Dren asked Viden that what does he means. If you want to talk to him, isn't that quite obvious? You want to recruit Sir Mord? Viden said this to Dren. Hearing this, Dren laughs and says to Viden that he is wrong as he is here to apologize to Mord for the misbehavior of his subordinates. Hearing Sir Dren's statement. Everyone present in the banquet gets shocked. Dren then apologized to Mord for in front of everyone, and he gives Mord a present as a token of apology. Mord understands that Dren is forcing him to accept his apology in front of everyone in order to improve his own image. Mord then happily accepts the present. Dren thanks him for accepting it. Seeing this, Viden gets angry as he thinks that if this goes on, he will lose Mord. So Viden approaches Mord and tries to start a conversation with him, but at that time Erna comes and Mord starts to talk with. Viden gets angry and asked Erna that why she is interfering between them. Erna smiles and says that she is not interfering him as she only saw Dren talking with Mord. She also tells Viden that he didn't even greet Mord. Viden shouts at Erna and tells her to drop her arrogance as he will not leave her alone just because she is younger. With the way you're talking, someone might think that you're an older brother who cares about their younger sister, despite you being the one who broke my arm. Erna says this to Viden with an angry face. Viden then says that it was his mercy that he just broke one arm while she the one who broke his leg. The two of them starts to argue. At that time, Mord analyses all of them and gets that Dren Vernus is strategic but not a trustworthy person. Viden Vernus is not in his right mind, so he is excluded. And lastly, Erna Vernars, she's a little strange. But he haven't seen her skills yet, so he will have to put her on hold. While the two of them are arguing at that time, the fourth child, Hurian Vernus, comes and tells them to stop. Seeing him, Erna asks that why he is here as he was supposed to be working. He replied that he has left this subordinate behind who will handle all of the work in his absence. Hurian, I wasn't aware that you liked banquets, though. Viden says this. Hurian replies that he didn't come here to enjoy the banquet. He is here to see the main character of all the rumors. Saying this, Hurian goes towards Mord and introduces himself as a Hurian, a high-ranking warrior. The both of them shakes hands, and Hurian asked Mord that if he defeated the Lord-class demon with his firm hands. Mord replied yes. Hearing this, Hurian, this Mord is amazing, and he wants to have a fight with him. Mord thinks in this mind that Hurian is one of the two candidates that survived in the novel until the end, and he's someone that has a sad-looking face but possesses great talent. At that time, an announcement comes which says that the Archduke Ha arrived, and before the award ceremony, he will say something. The Archduke gets up on the stage and congratulates everyone for working hard for 2 months and spreading the name of the Vernars. He then starts the award ceremony. First he calls Kessner and give him the award, then the next person he calls is Mord. Mord gets up on the stage and kneels down in front of the Archduke. Archduke praises him for achieving this in his 15 years old. He also says that from today onwards he will appoint Mord as intermediate warrior. Everyone in the hall gets impressed and talks good about him. The Archduke gives the trophy to him and says that he wants to see his skill one more time. After the award ceremony is over, Mord and the subordinates of Kestner is sitting together in a dinning and is calling with each other. At that time, Kestner comes to Mord and tells him to come with him for a moment. Mord follows him and the both of them stands in a corner. Kestner tells Mord not to drink so much as they are leaving early tomorrow as his teacher wants to meet with him. Then, in the next day, we can see Mord has come to the place where the teacher of Kestner resides in. He is shocked to see that only one person lives in this huge house. The gate of the house is so big that Mord is unable to open it. At that time, a voice comes to Mordhead, "You're here." Mord gets shocked to see that the huge gate is opening and the person that is opening it is using telekinesis to open it. As the gate opens, Mord sees an old man radiating a dense amount of mana is standing in the middle of the room and greets him. Mord gets that the man is very strong. The man's name is Ilden Vernus. He is the general of the top elite legion called the Gatekeeper Legion in the Principality of Vernars. He is the older brother of the current Archduke and was referred to as the first young master. He was defeated in the God of Combat Spirit against his half-brother, the current Archduke, and lost everything. After that, he did not show himself to the public again. So Mord gets curious, so know that this person who hides from public has called him personally in his own palace. "Sir Mord, I'm sure you heard about me from Kestner. As you can see, I'm blind. Do you mind if I touch your face?" Ilden tells this to Mord. Mord also agrees to Ilden's wish. He then touches Mord's face and tells that he doesn't take after his father. Mord replies that the Archduke, his father, also thinks that he resembles his mother. Iden then asked Mord that if he know why he has called him here today. Mord replied that he didn't know anything about that. The only thing he knows that he is here because Iden wants to see him. The old man tells Mord that he has called him here because he have an offer for he. But before telling anything about the offer, the old man requests Mord to have a spar with him as he would like to check his skills beforehand. Mord thinks that in novel, Ilden was looking for someone to help him bring down the Archduke, and he found Leon, who had a lot of potential because of Aiden's support. Mord decides to show his potential so that he has been chosen by him. Mord activates his divine blood and release a huge amount of mana that Ilden was pushed back. Seeing this, Ilden smiles, and on the other hand, Mord gets ready to fight. He dashed towards Ilden, and as he is about to land his first blow at that time, an impulse ball comes and hits him. Mord gets fly away from getting hit by the impulse ball. Mord lands successfully and gets that the impulse ball is not an ordinary one. Ilden has wrapped the impulse ball with his aura, and that is not something even a masterclass mana fighter can accomplish. And even though it's very difficult, Ilden is freely controlling dozens of it. Mord gets a bit tensed as an aura user is not easy to handle. Aura is above the realm of controlling mana. It is only achievable once your mana senses are one dimension above what they are normally. I'll prevent recoil using the God of Combat physique and push forward with brute strength. Mord makes this attack plan on the spot and rushed towards Ilden to execute his plan. Ilden sees that Mord's power has increased, so he attacks him with his impulse balls. Mord punched that impulse balls and destroys them. Seeing this, Ilden gets impressed and tells Mord that even though he is fast, but he can make more impulse balls. Mord anticipated this situation, and he has also came up with a plan to tackle it. As Ilden makes more impulse balls, Mord also starts to create his own impulse ball. Mord makes his ball huge and shoots it up. Mord's huge ball collides with dozens of Ilden's impulse balls and destroys them. Ilden gets impressed to see this trick of Mord and wanders from where he learned this sort of amazing techniques. Mord then ambushed Ilden from the back, but he gets surprised to see that his punch is not approaching Ilden's body. The aura around Ilden acts like an impenetrable armor. Mord gets back and decides to use the world fragment to bring up more mana. Ilden was thinking of Mord's fighting senses and style. At that time, Mord gets full of mana and launched a huge blow at Ilden's back. This time, the attack pierced through Ilden's aura armor and hits him. Ilden flies away at light speed and hits the wall. Mord gets happy that he has landed his attack. The place where Ilden falls gets covered with smoke, and from there, silver lightning starts to appear. Ilden then starts to laugh out loud. Seeing his Mord gets a bit nervous. There are several levels to divine blood opening. The first level changes your hair and eye color to silver. At the second level, silver lightning begins to surround you. This means that your existence is closer to the realm of the divine. Ilden actives his second-level divine blood he gets behind. Mord is a flash, and as he about to throws a punch at Mord, Mord also turns around and punched him. Both of their punched clashed, and a huge outburst of mana occurs. But in front of Ilden's power, Mord was unable to stand in front him. Ilden's punch power overpowers Mord punch, and Mord gets pushed back and hits a wall. Ilden says to Mord that he has impressive reflex, and even though he is in second-level divine blood awakening, he managed to damage him, and on top of that, he is not intimidated at all. Ilden also says that it is enough as he didn't know what will happen if he gets more excited. Mord then deactivates his divine blood state and thinks that Ilden Vernars may have lost against the Archduke, but he's definitely one of the strongest Vernars, and he possesses monstrous power. Ilden walks towards Mord and says that he has seen enough what he is capable of. He then tells his offer to Mord, and the offer is to join the Gatekeeper Legion. In the Vernus Grand Duchy, there's a unit called the Gatekeeper Unit. Along with the Guardians, they're called the most elite unit of the Vernus Grand Duchy, where all members are veterans who honed their skills to the extreme and gained extensive real-life fighting experience. In the southern part of the continent, there is the Great Magic Barrier, and on the northern part, there is the White Magic Barrier. The Great Magic Barrier has been completely transformed into part of the demon realm, and it serves as the vanguard base for the demons, and those in charge there are known as the Guardians. The White Magic Barrier hasn't completely transformed into a part of the demon realm, but it is a gray zone where continuous demonization happens. It also serves as the base of operation for the Gatekeeper Unit, becoming a battleground where power struggles for dominance over the continent take place, known as the rival of the Vernus Grand Duchy. They are another major military force, and the two are known as the Twin Mountain Ranges, the inheritors of the divine blood, the House of Ordas. One of the reasons why the Gatekeeper Unit is deemed to be dangerous is because of the death rate during their operations are high due to the frequent clashes with them. Mord, for all candidates for succession, you are not just someone who they desire to have, but also someone that they don't want to hand over to their rivals. Threats and enticements will not cease until you decide on where you want to go. Although Kessner is guarding you right now, there's a limit on how long he can hold out, Ilden says. Ilden also tells Mord that the Northern White Magic Barrier is a territory that the candidates for succession can't touch, and that means he can concentrate solely on nurturing his skills. Mord finds the words of Ilden true, and he also needs to bring the Northern White Magic Barrier on his side. Mord agrees with Ilden's offer, but he puts two conditions. Ilden asked Mord about the conditions first. The first condition is that Ilden will have to fight with Mord for a period of time starting from today onwards. Ilden gets a bit confused and asked Mord that if it means he will be teaching him. Mord replies that he does not need teach him, he just has to spar with him. Ilden hears this and asked Mord that if he is sure he can get stronger with just fighting. Mord replied yes. Hearing Mord's reply, Ilden laughs a bit and says that he is quite an interesting fellow. He then says that he can only be his sparring partner only for 20 days, as after that he has to move to the north. Mord then tells Ilden his second condition. The second condition is that Mord wants a 1 year of freely roam outside under the pretext of a secret mission for the Gatekeeper Unit. Ilden gets surprised and asks Mord what he is thinking about. Mord replies that he has some personal matters to attend to. Mord thinks that during this time when Aiden is carefully building up his strength, he must strike preemptively before Aiden discovers the existence of the world, fragments, and starts moving in earnest. Ilden then tells Mord that he can only give him 8 months. Mord expected this from Ilden, as he is very generous to the people who he thinks have great potential. He was the same in the novel. He showed an obsession, bordering into madness, on defeating the Grand Duke and creating a suitable heir for the Vernus bloodline. So he did everything in his power to make Leon into the Grand Duke. Mord then properly thanks Ilden for showing such generosity. Ilden smiles and thinks that even Grand Duke Harden wasn't strong as Mord at this age. And since Mord is not from the formal lineage, He can't become the Grand Duke, but he thinks that's actually better that way. As after all, there have been instances where illegitimate children served as the Grand Duke's shadow. After that, Mord gets out of there and goes to his place. The servant of his welcomes him. As he was walking, he notices some warriors in the training ground. Mord asked his servant about them. The servant replies that the warriors are Erna Verna's subordinates, and Ms. Erna is waiting for him inside. Mord gets inside and sees that Erna is waiting for him. Erna says hello to him and tells him to talk comfortably as she is also not from the formal lineage. Erna then pushes a box towards Mord and tells him to take this. Mord asked her, "What is this?" Erna didn't reply to Mord and asked that if the thing that Dren G sevi him is a good one. Mord takes the box in his hand and says that Dren gave him a quite expensive healing potion. Erna smiles and tells Mord to open the box as there is a better one inside the box. Mord opens it and sees a blue-color elixir and gets surprised. The blue elixir is a treasure that transforms humans into a powerful being. For martial arts practitioners, it's a once-in-a-lifetime test for an opportunity for a breakthrough. The tears of the martial arts god. In the novel, when Aiden gave this treasure to Leon, it instantly strengthened his power. However, when another extra consumed it, they died due to their own power. It's a gift that I received for my 10th birthday. It's an extremely precious object, but if you can't handle that, it'll be just poison for you. So I recommend that you don't consume it immediately, but to drink it once you feel ready. Of course, you're capable of finding a way in overcoming it without dying, but there's no harm in being cautious. Erna says this. Mord this for a bit and asked her if she had consumed it. Yup, 2 years ago I almost died when I attempted clearing a demonization zone without knowing anything about the world's affairs. But then I was able to save a noble who was about to be killed, and as a gift they gave me one. It felt more meaningful than any birthday gift that I received, so I consumed it and kept this one for later. Erna replies this. Mord accepts the gift with gratitude. Erna has already heard that Mord will be leaving, so she says her farewell to Mord and says that the next time they will talk when he comes back. After that, Ina takes her leave. Then 20 days later, when Mord is about to leave secretly, he was caught by Kessner. Kessner lectures Mord that he is only a 15-year-old kid, so he needs to be under the protection of an elder. As Kessner is taking, Mord suddenly thanks him for everything he has done for him so far. Kessner protected him and never underestimated him, and nor did he ever hinder his path anyway. Mord thanks Kessner for all of this. He tells Kessner not to worry about him, as he is an intermediate warrior. Kessner understands Mord's feelings, smiles. He then put his hand on Mord's shoulder and wishes him good luck for his journey. After that, Kessner leaves, and Mord also starts to get on his way. At that time, a boy wearing a black robe jumps from the wall and starts to follow Mord. Mord feels someone's presence behind him, so he turns around and sees there is no one. Those who obtain impulse will go through several phases. The first phase involves handling sword impulse or body impulse. The second phase involves dense, concentrated impulses like impulse gauntlet. The third phase involves remotely enhancing substances and imbuing them with impulse. The fourth phase compresses and accelerates frantic impulse power, resulting in explosive power. And then the fifth phase is the ultimate phase that most warriors can't reach even with a lifetime of training. It is a phase that requires relentless effort and overwhelming talent, aura. Those who can wield that power are called master-level magician. Mord trained with Ilden for 20 days. Ilden wasn't satisfied with just being his sparring partner. So he provided Mord with a lot of teachings, and thanks to that, Mord achieved tremendous growth, but he is still far from reaching the aura phase. And before leaving on his journey, Mord drinks the potion that Erna gave to him. It's early morning now. Mord is walking in the forest, and he has come far from the Archduke Palace. He is also aware that some warriors sent by the Grand Duke is following him, and they will suddenly launch an attack and try to capture him before he make his way to the north. While Mord is walking in the forest, he sensed an arrow is coming towards him. He quickly dodged it, and as he looks up the hill, he sees tons of archers is pointing their arrows towards him. Mord smiles, seeing this, and all the archers launch their arrows at Mord. As the arrows land, huge explosion occurs, which overs the areas in dust and smoke. The archers on the hill thinks that they had got Mord, but as the smoke clears, they get surprised as Mord is completely fine as he used his divine blood state. By seeing this, the group of mages activates their skills and shoots Fireball at Mord. Mord gets completely surrounded by Fireball. He used his impulse balls like Ilden and chants the trajectory of the fireballs towards the enemies. The fireball hits them, and fire spreads all around the forest. All the mages and archers gets knocked out except for one, who use his mana shield and escape the explosion. The one that is alive is impressed to see the power of Mord. Mord then noticed him and rushed towards. Mord throws a punch on the mana shield, but it was hard, so as he about to punch harder at that time, a brown-haired boy comes from side and attacks Mord with a sword. Mord uses Aura Gauntlet to block the sword, and then punched the boy and sent his flying. He quickly goes to the boy and again hits him on the face with his Aura Gauntlet. The boy flies a few miles and lands on the ground. Mord stands in front of the boy and says that he knows who he is. The boy is a high-level warrior named Baron. Hearing his name from Mord's mouth, the boy gets shocked and he asked Mord that how did he find out about him. Mord replies that he saw him once at the Grand Duke's training ground and he again saw him during the banquet. And when he noticed a short guy alone in a place where the Grand Duke's trusted troops had gathered, he asked around, and from there he finds out about him. Mord then says that he is the Grand Duke's loyal dog, so he knew that he'll send him. And he also says the reason he is after him is because of the fruit. In the novel, Grand Duke Vernus is depicted as a strong but unforgivable villain. That's because he committed the heinous crime of devouring his own offspring. Hearing the word fruit form Mord's mouth, the boy gets shaky, and in a scared voice he asked Mord that how did he know about this.